Thank you, Annie. So I have been extremely interested with the question of David and the answer of the. So this is about automation, and the AI. It is going to be helping us a lot. It is about softwareization, and it is about the access capabilities that we will be offering our customers. So we go to the next slide, please. So what we are doing today, when we are managing an extraordinary amount of money, CapEx and OpEx and so on, one of our main priorities more than 15 years ago had been so crystal clear equation. FTTH, it is the key for the access. And we have been running and we have been so pushing a lot. So today we have in the Telefónica premises around, today at this moment, 80 million of home passed in FTTH in all our perimeter. In Spain, so we have been just switching off all the copper. So this means that 99%, maybe we have still some one of them that mean unbundle it and so on. But FTTH, it is a solution for the access. So, and this is something we have clarity about that for a lot of things. But most of them it is because it is the high quality. So copper, fixed wireless access, cable cannot compete with fiber. We are just running in 1G PON, and we are just preparing in 10G PON in Wi-Fi 7. And second one, it is how we can be just progressing in 5G standalone. We are doing, all of us we are doing. But it is the access, so this means FTTH plus 5G standalone, it is key. And all automation that we are building, we have the autonomous network journey. Our target, it is to be close to the 4 in 2025 in the TM forum KPI that we are following. So this is when we go to the next slide. So I will try to go through the key. So we perceive crystal clear, especially with the 5G standalone, and with the cloudification of the services, not the cloudification of the network. So we see that it is a high value in the B2B approach. This is because we have been building a specific technological approach for the Telefónica Tech, which is our B2B, which is growing in terms of revenues, double digits day by day. So you have some numbers, but the key it is that the B2B today, it is connectivity, and connectivity it is fiber massively. It is 5G and 5G standalone with all the capabilities of the slicing, all the capabilities of the private network. So as a service for our B2B customer. So we have been building an extraordinary connectivity. We have been building over this all a cloud program, trying to be sure that our customers, so they are just agnostic in terms of the cloudification of his services. We are managing all the cloudification services for our B2B customers. Around of this, we built a lot of services, but in the round of this, we have been building all the cyber security. This means that B2B, it is network, it is a significant part, but it is just only the root. This is not the final successful. The final successful, it is offering our customer an end-to-end approach. And we are just offering from the digital operation center for our big customers with all the capabilities in terms of connectivity, including 5G standalone, SD-WAN, and so on. All the technology in the B2B, it is key, and it is guiding us how need to be the evolution of the B2C sector in terms of services, cloudified, and so on. Open Gateway is a good example that we will be starting by the B2B, and later on we'll massify it for the B2C. If we go to the next step, next slide, please. How we can be building this? So there is a question that I have been with a great interest. It is the softwareization, the cloudification, helping us trying to reduce the TCO. The answer it is yes, but not from the scratch. So the experience that we have in the softwareization, in the cloudification of the telco cloud approach with the main platform IMS, PCRF, now what we are doing with the packet core, so over the on-prem cloud capabilities with the hyperscalers, it is clear that it is the way trying to evolve our network. It is because the TCO finally, it is helping us trying to reduce around the 30%. These are our numbers that Santiago was mentioning, so we are in this way. But we are not doing this only for TCO. So we can reduce the TCO so using different levels and maintaining the traditional architecture. If we are thinking that we need to be flexible in the creation of value for our customer, only we are softwareizing and building all the automatic tools that we need, we can really go to the velocity that the market they are asking for. This is not only for the TCO. We have any other levers. It is because the final way of operating and orchestrating these services, it is much more easier when we are just going through telco cloud approach more than the traditional. So, and we are doing this, and Santiago was mentioning before, not only for the softwareization itself. It is because we are just putting together the IT pieces. We can go to cloud for IT with the telco cloud itself for the network pieces. We have been evolving a lot, I will be mentioning. And today, if you will be asking me if we can orchestrate with the traditional tools, I will say, no, this is not feasible, but with the AI and the Gen AI that we are testing, because to be honest, we are still learning. I cannot say that we are an expert. We are not. We are not still. We are learning a lot about Gen AI, and we see that all the AI capabilities will be helping us trying to manage in a much more efficient way all the different software pieces that we are building in the IT and in the network itself. And if you see which is the final paradigm of the equation, we have crystal clear that you were asking for the next 10 years. Let me go to 2030. In 2030, the equation will be 5G plus 6G plus FTTH, and crystal clear that 5G and 6G, they will be with a different architecture, and FTTH will be 10G-PON without any doubt. But we have some extraordinary doubts in terms of how will be the 6G itself. If they will be competing for the 20% of the traffic that they are competing today against the Wi-Fi, or we have an additional opportunity trying to go for a different architecture, so close to the customer with the 6G and with the higher frequencies, because we will have centimeter waves. But it is a good discussion. But 5G plus 6G plus FTTH, it will be the equation that will be consuming the CapEx. How we will be building this network, offering this combination of services, it is a different animal. We go to the next slides. We have a crystal clear view, and the computing capabilities doesn't matter if they are in a data center, they are in the edge capabilities, or they are in some intermediate. So we are building networks that they are fully programmable. So so if you, in 2030, how will be the evolution of a country will be designed and defined, but the energy capabilities, distribution and production, and computing capabilities, not only data center, but most of them, and how you can be applying this for the services, for the connectivity, and for the network and the intelligence itself. It is going to be a crystal clear model and how we can solve it. If we go to the next slide, please. If you see what it is happening with the traffic, because finally we are serving customers and societies, and that we are looking at how this traffic is growing, it is true that you see that it is we are reducing the velocity, we are reducing the traffic in our market. Reducing means that we are not growing to 30-35%, we are growing 15-20%. So this is, even if we will be just reaching the AI videos, the metaversization of the Web3. So what we perceive it is that we are still growing in traffic, but this traffic had been moderated. So let me give some numbers. So in my experience, in our experience in the markets, if you are just evolving a customer from copper to fiber, he's multiplying by 3 the traffic. This means that he's just consuming with copper 150, 200 giga per month. So if you are offering fiber with 1 giga, this customer can be consuming up to 500 giga per month. And in the mobile, it is a little bit different. So if 4G to 5G, we are going from 10 to 25 to 50 giga if we are just projecting to 2029. This means that we need to maintain, let me quote, a smooth traffic growing, and we need to manage. And even with the videos that they have been just produced by the AI itself. So my point is when we are programming the network, so the evolution and the traffic growing in the next 5 years, it is not going to be something that we cannot manage. It is true that we need to be careful with the hyperscalers sending a clear message. So you need to help us, and we need to work together, trying to reduce the traffic and trying to improve the interfaces and to improve the algorithms and to improve the codecs, trying to reduce our experience. It is when we are just working with the hyperscalers, we have been reducing at 25% the traffic, maintaining the quality and the content that we are offering to our customers. This is something that we need to do, because this is not sustainable that the hyperscaler that will be just projecting 50-60% of the total traffic if they are not helping us trying to build some really efficient traffic management of the network itself. So if we go to the next one, something which is for us still not well designed and defined, to be honest, and we are working a lot, and we are working as an industry, it is what is going to happen with the data center traffic that we need to connect. If you analyze what it is happening, which are the asking in the different European countries and in Brazil and in some in countries in Hispano America, the data center, they are going to be a massive traffic generation. They are going to be a massive massive capabilities that they will be asking for us because the traffic is going to be amazing. We need to connect the data center itself. We need to connect with the submarine cables. And when we see how will be the traffic growing linked to this is going to be a massive effort that we need to do in terms of fiber, in terms of ducts, in terms of infrastructures. And the data center itself, they will be consuming an amazing quantity of energy. And this means that we need to be really trying to produce and to distribute this energy. This means that data centers evolution, it is going to be really relevant for us. And we need to be aware of this and we need to be solving this because if we don't do it, I'm fully convinced that any other agent will be doing. Let me give some numbers. So we have data center today consuming 30 to 50 megawatts, and the ratio that it is just being established at up to 150 megawatts. And there is some campuses of data center that they are consuming so more than 800 megawatts. This is amazing, and this is not only the connectivity. It is the distribution of the energy and the production itself. It is going to be how we are going to interconnect the data center that finally, a significant part of the intelligence, a significant part of the services, they will be just hosted in this data center, and we need to solve this. And this is a part that we are just working very hard, and will be a huge impact in the infrastructure itself, but in the traffic management that we need to do. If we go to the next. This is a circle that it is a mandatory circle. It is the view for 2030. So all legacy switch off. We are switching off 3G, not still 2G because the IoT, but we will. We are just reducing maximum the spectrum for the 4G. We have been switching off all the copper. And the companies that in 2030, they have not been switching off all the copper, so they cannot sustain the fiber plus copper because it is just, at least in Europe, just impossible to maintain. So let me say the reduction in terms of cost, OPEX, in terms of energy consumption, the fiber compared with the copper, it is an 85%. This means that you cannot maintain both networks. So in the copper substitution, it is helping us trying to go with the CapEx that we are getting from this copper. It is helping us trying to go much more fast in the FTTH evolution. In Spain, we did it. So we are just doing an extraordinary job in the switching off of the copper in Hispano America, especially in Sao Paulo, when we have an extraordinary good penetration of the fiber. Legacy switch off is key, it is critical. So we are just going to a pure cloudified, and this applies to the IT, this applies to the services, and this applies to the network platforms, and this applies to the intelligence. And we have been doing with the disaggregation in the transport, we have been doing with the introduction of new providers in the open broadband. This means that we are just building the evolution of the 1G PON using an open broadband architecture. So building a multi-laser 1G PON, 10G PON, and this is working very well. It is helping us trying to reduce the cost and much more than at 30%. So because the new providers, they are much more simple to do it, and they are helping us trying to orchestrate and to manage. And we are trying to reach for the FTTH with the cloudification of the softwareization of the open broadband. They are helping us trying to go through the maximum capillarity. Every country that it is, every customer that is asking us trying to go through 10G PON, so we can manage with from the OLT through the customer premises equipment offering then 10G PON plus Wi-Fi 7. So I mentioned, so we are disaggregating and softwareizing all the pieces. The only one that we have not been capable to try to do it, but it is key. 2026 to 2030, we need to go through the open RAN architecture, because if we don't do it, it is going to be just impossible trying to sustain and to change the 6G cycle compared with the 5G. It will be very similar. We will replicate, and to be honest, this is not sustainable. This is because in the next 5 years, we need to be applying this architecture of the ORAN or open RAN interfaces. So even if they are running the 5G, that need to be really trying to be working at the 6G. So this is something that we are working a lot. You know that all of us, we are doing an extraordinary effort in terms of AI, classical machine learning. We are getting extraordinary efficiencies using the classic AI, but we are just starting learning about the Gen AI, not with the LLM itself. That will be the next step for the big customer for us. It is for the pure automation journey that we are doing. So we have been working with the TM Forum, and I really, so thanks to this guy, because they are amazing, and all of them. So we are just building, all our network have been fully APIfied. This means that we are just building APIs that they are fully pluggable for all the services. Open Gateway is a good example in Camera, but this is something that we are doing. And this is because we are trying to go through the 80 days. We need to expose, not the expose that they are coming native as a slicing in the 5G. It is, we need to expose all the legacy capabilities, helping us trying to go through revenues. So escaping from the traditional services that we are doing, that we need to be offering them. So location, quality on demand, security, and so on. So we are just working in all of them. So we are running very fast. So we have still a lot of, at least in our case, so we need to learn a lot about Gen AI capabilities in automation. We need to be working massively in the packet core pieces, so being hosted in the traditional. We have been progressing a lot with some of them, but not for all of them. We are working, trying to be sure that we can work with Google and Amazon, at least trying to be sure that we can be hosting these pieces in on-prem capabilities, but it is pure cloudification. So we are still just starting with the monetization of the Open Gateway with the amplification, but we have all the pieces trying to be sure that in the next 2-3 years, we will be evolving very fast, and we will be just producing revenues and making efficiencies, going to a pure programmable and softwareized network and IT. This is what we are doing. We go to the next step. Next slide, please. Legacy shutdown, go to cloud for IT with go to cloud for IT and Telco cloud, open and disaggregated architecture from the SDN capabilities through the radio itself, through the Open RAN, and using all the artificial intelligence for the automation. And this is not including the Gen AI, but once it is mature for us, so we will be using massively, and it is going to be something that will be helping us trying to go faster in the efficiencies, faster in the orchestration, and faster in the evolution through this network that they have been designing and defining in the previous slices. If we go to the next, this is what it is going to happen in our opinion with the access. I have not any doubt. In the FTTH, we have not any doubt in terms of the next 2-3 years. Wi-Fi 7 plus 10G-PON, it is going to be a standard. The key for us, the key for the network guys, it is how we can offer our commercial teams the right granularity. This means that we cannot be asking upfront evolving 300 million, 400 million, and later on you can be going one. No, we need to reduce massively the upfront necessities evolving the network one giga or cable to fiber. We are doing in some countries, but the granularity, the capillarity. So, but 10G-PON plus Wi-Fi 7 in the next 3-4 years, we will be starting in 2025 without any doubt. It is going to be the standard trying to evolve. 50G-PON, we will see in the next future, maybe not before 2030. We can be testing in labs, but it's massively. And so, and combine it with the 5G standalone capabilities. And in the middle of this evolution, we need to start trying to evolve our network in a pure cloud or Open RAN capability. So this is what we are doing. Crystal clear, all the technology that we need for the access in fixed, what we need to do for the transport, so what we need to do for the platforms itself. I'm talking about the evolution of the IMS, PCRF, packet core. I have not still clarity how will be the journey that we will with the Cloud RAN or Open RAN capabilities. We are just working a lot. But if we don't do nothing and we wait through the 6G cycle in 2030, my personal opinion is that we will replicate the 6G cycle, and this is not sustainable. For the future, this is not sustainable because we have not still clarity about the revenues in the 5G or 5G standalone despite the B2B. So can you imagine with the 6G? We go to the next one. So next one, this is no doubt about the FTTH. So next one, please. A significant part of risk for the operator is the customer premises equipment equation. So don't forget that we are not offering, here it is the main message, it is we are not offering fiber. We are not offering this, we are offering Wi-Fi. This means that the quality of the Wi-Fi a significant part, it is the customer premises equipment. And within that, with a very good approach for that, despite the Wi-Fi, so we are really trying to offer our customer a home as a computer, because if we don't do it, we will be disintermediated and we will be just the fiber guys, and we are getting a huge successful with the smart services that we call home as a computer, that it is a combination of outstanding outperformed fiber, extraordinary CPEs capabilities with Wi-Fi 6 and evolution to Wi-Fi 7, and a suite of services that can be helping to the customer, alarms, control of the quality, control of the connectivity, etc., etc., etc. So e-health, gaming, whatever. And we are just, with this, today, we are just reaching churn below 1% in the fiber. And this is not only for the fiber, it is the fiber plus the proposal of home as a computer that we are offering our customer. And they're helping us trying to understand much more better what the customer are asking with the evolution of the services at home. With this, and don't forget, it is the 80% of the traffic. So this means that it is not only technology, it is not only CP, it is services, and all these services, they are fully virtualized in our kernel capabilities. Next slide, please. We are trying to mix, and this is part of the equation of which is the cost. So we have public cloud when we can do it, private cloud, or even on-prem capabilities when we need to be much more close to the performance that we are asking, which are the layers that we can manage in the cloud pieces. This is not the same, the NAT pieces as services that packet core. And we are just mixing and managing. So we need all of us, we need a lot of testing, but they are going extremely well. And they are giving us the right mix and the right provider that we need. And for the edge, to be honest, today, we are just building infrastructure. So we are trying to build a confederation capabilities. We are building edge in our central offices. We are building infrastructures. But to be honest, we don't see services around of this. Maybe this is our personal situation, but there are not services. But we are fully convinced that the services over the edge, they will be key. But not only the services, a significant part of the intelligence for the 10G PON capabilities, and especially for the 6G capabilities and evolving 5G to 6G, we will need a significant part of the intelligence, not only services, intelligence itself in the edge capabilities. And this is because we are building this edge infrastructure. We have more than 17 or 18 central offices with edge capabilities, trying to guarantee the latency and the services. And finally, the intelligence that we will be hosting in these edges, but that initially they will be there, and later on we will see what we can do in the in the tower itself. But this is something that we need to still analyze deeper in terms of architecture. We go to the next slides. This is what I mentioned before, open and disaggregated in all the network. We are just disaggregating in open broadband. We have it in core network. We are starting. So, but we have now over we have in Germany over one of our hyperscaler, our packet core running, and we are just going through the next one. This is and with significant efficiency in the medium and long term. We have open transport, so we have been building SDN, so we have been disaggregating cell, we have been building the SDN, and the main homework that we need to do it is the Open RAN, because the rest of the pieces that have been disaggregated, so we have just the technical solution, and this is a matter trying to deploy, and we need still to be tuning, and AI will be helping us a lot trying to make this a real capability. This is our picture, and this is what we need to be ready before 2030, because if we don't, so we will replicate what we have today, to be honest. And the main doubt, I go back again, it is in the Open RAN. Next slide, please. You were discussing about this, so processes, automation platforms. So we have been building a specific use case for the efficiency itself in the autonomous network journey that we have, going through the 4/5 in the TM forum a KPI. But if you analyze the opportunities of the Gen AI in the next future, and they're not talking about 2025, even I'm not talking about 2026, but if they say how will be the evolution in the cycle of 2025 to 2030 with the Gen AI combined with the machine learning and AI today, so we can be proposing, so much more splitted and programmable architecture, because we have this glue who can be helping us, first of all, managing, the second one being much more efficient, because the orchestration it is key, trying to make that this really happen and helping us. Next slide, please. We are building AI and Gen AI in some use cases in operations, in monitorization and analysis. We are being predictive. We are building in planning. Amazing the benefit that we are just getting in terms of planning. But if you put this together with the open gateway and the quality on demand, so this is not only trying to be planning with the traditional mindset. So we are planning, understanding how we can be and respecting the net neutrality, how we can open services of QoD, helping us trying to reserve some part of the spectrum for some kind of services and getting revenue. So we are just working a lot in this. So we are working, looking to the service operation center. So not analyzing the network itself, it is how the customer perceive the network. It is helping us trying to growth in customer experience, no doubt, but helping us trying to be much more efficient. And the granularity that we are doing in the planning, it is helping us a lot. And in terms of sustainability, all of us we are doing. So we are just coming from a linear consumption through you are consuming energy if you are using the base station. This is something that all the providers they are including, but we need to go to the next step. It is not only in terms of the use on connection or attaching, it is in terms of the services and how we can be reducing the global power consumption, who in the case of Telefónica, I assume that in the rest of the operators, it is a significant amount of OpEx year over year. Next slide. We have the use cases that we are building, so we can share. This is an industry challenge. This is not a Telefónica challenge. We have crystal clear of that. Next slide, please. We are just attacking all the processes, the B2B. So I mentioned initially Telefónica Tech, but the revenues and open gateway capabilities, they will be coming for the B2B. In the B2C, so we are just using the AI massively, trying to all the relationship, the contact center, it is an extraordinary example. We are doing in terms of service availability, not network availability, service itself. So what we are doing in terms of supporting all the financing, all the procurement processes, it is working really very well. So Gen AI, it is amazing, and it will be helping us a lot. And not only in the network itself, we can be managing all the procurement processes in a full automatic way. So, and this is something that it is helping us, trying to be much more faster and including efficiencies in the finance reports, in the human resource capabilities, in the procurement process, and so on. Next one, please. This is our use case. So Telefónica in all our so we don't use any technology where it is not helping us trying to the sustainability, and this is applicable for all things. So we are just in all our European operations and in most of the Hispanoamerica, including Brazil, 100% of all our energy is coming from renewables. We are reducing the emissions massively, and we are just evolving the network. We multiply by 9 the data capabilities. We are a company, as all of us, that we are producing data, we are managing data, and we are just reducing 9% the total power consumption. But it is not enough. Renewable carbon emissions and reducing the power consumption, it is a must. If we are not capable trying to do it, we are not sustainable. We have a lot of data, we have all reports, but the main question for the technical guys, it is, if this technology, it is not helping me trying to reduce the energy, it is not helping me trying to reduce the cost, it is not helping me trying to be sustainable, this is not the right technology, even if this is an amazing technology. Next one. And for the 2030, you were asking what's the next 10 years. So we have a lot of things that we are working. Quantum computing, all the people, it is science fiction. It is not. So we are just giving the step. Quantum communication, it is a reality. Using this technology, it is true that the initial computing capabilities in terms of qubits with the logical port, it is 100 so qubits managing without noise. It is true that it's going to be a little bit late, so I do not say that we will massify it in 2030 or 2030 to 2035, but quantum communication and crypto, it is going to be a reality and we need to go. Leotech, it is complementary or it is an alternative. So this is, we are managing what the main thing that we need to understand and how will the role of the DVD, direct to device, the D2D. So how will be the real impact in all our operations and geographies? This is key. 6G capabilities that I mentioned before with the frequencies, hopefully will be 6, 7 gigahertz to 11 gigahertz, we will see. And the fiber evolution, that it is something that we are working because the battery itself can be improved with the efficiency of the fiber, and we are working a lot on this, trying to improve the efficiencies and so on. How will be the final role of metaverse with the devices, and how will be the role of the fair share and the optimization of the communication? Metaverse, it is not the Web3 portal. It is not about the XR, VR devices. It is about how we can combine the necessities of the hyperscalers, Meta, it's a good example, with the business model that we need to apply supporting this kind of traffic. So for free, it is not going to be the case. For fee, it is not going to be the business model. If they are asking and they are including and they're making money, pushing the network, trying to be much more powerful. So this powerful has a price, has a cost. And this is something that we are managing with the fair share capabilities and with the fair share program that, to be honest, it is something that we think that it is something that we need to manage because we cannot support so growing in CapEx without any additional revenues. Gen AI, it is going to be in all. I mentioned before, it is going to be in all. And how will be the role of all these autonomous? This is not only vehicles, it is vehicles, robotization, and so on. It is key. So, but in some of these, there are a lot of decisions that we need to be taken, and we will. in some cases, we have the technology. When we don't have it, we will get it, and we will find it. So as an industry, I repeat again, so some solution. And the next one, this is what we are trying to do. There is a lot of concepts, so I have only half an hour. I have been a little bit higher, surpass the time, but we have a significant levers in our hands. We need to be sustainable in the next future. So we need to apply the levers that we know today. There is most of them that Gen AI is a good example. But if you're asking me what we are planning in the period of 2025 to 2030, it will be helping us trying to change the industry skill for the next 5 years, 2035. If we don't do nothing, if we are just being so business as usual, reducing the cost, do not applying technology, we will be in a very similar situation in 2035. And if this happens, so it will be coming any other that will be doing better than us. And we will be, in some cases, disappearing as a part significant of the industry. And you know, Telefónica, it is not in this position. So we will be fighting, we will be applying all the levers, we will be trying to improve, being much more efficient, but mainly changing the architecture and the way that we are creating network for a single approach, serving the customers and the societies when we are operating. Question, Sunny, sorry for the delay.
No, not at all, not at all. So I think you've answered most of the questions that were asked on your way through, but I've got a couple. And actually, you've sort of answered one of mine just in that last bit. I was just going to say that we do seem to be moving towards an age of ubiquitous connectivity, where we are going to be much less talking about whether it's mobile or fixed or whatever. It just seems to me the whole thing, we've talked about convergence for so long, but I mean, it does seem we are really, really moving in that direction now, and the whole thinking in the industry is going that way in a big way.
For trying to answer this question, so that there is we have in our hand trying to make ubiquitous this kind of connection. So a significant part is not in the network, it is in the smartphone or the devices. So how they can be guaranteeing that they are using at every moment, which is the right technology that they need to be connected. If you are today connected with your smartphone, doesn't matter if it is an Apple or it is an Android, so and you are connected to Wi-Fi, and you are just disconnecting the Wi-Fi, so there is not that you are just moving through the cellular capabilities. But in fact, you are not aggregating the capabilities of the Wi-Fi plus the cellular. This means that the seamless capabilities that we have in the devices today, it is not a priority. But you are including satellite connection, you are included Wi-Fi, even Wi-Fi 7, you are included 5G, but you are not building a carrier aggregation of that. And even you are not building as a connectivity who is using massively all the capabilities that the spectrum it is giving you. And this is something that we need to evolve, because if we don't do it, mesh capabilities, they will be a reality, and we will be losing unrelevant market share. So we are just thinking to do it with 5G plus 6G with the carrier aggregation. So, but it is true that if you have a satellite as an alternative, and if you have a Wi-Fi and you have a cellular, so we are not building an ubiquitous experience. So we are just dedicating so the connectivity at every moment, depending of the location of the customer. And we have an extraordinary opportunity with the 6G plus 5G, and we have an extraordinary opportunity with the Wi-Fi 7. How we can offer our customer the best experience at every moment, depending with the only one thing in our mindset is how we can offer the best experience, taking all the benefit of all the spectrum. Doesn't matter it is unlicensed Wi-Fi, licensed 5G or 6G. And this is something that it is going to happen. It is going to happen anyway, because if we don't do it, mesh will be doing.
And the other thing, Enrique, that made me smile is I've been writing about telecoms, should we say, for a long time, and leave it at that. And for all that time, we've been talking about getting rid of legacy. Now, in your slides, you meant something really specific when you were talking about legacy, but I just had to smile because it seems to me that legacy will always be with us, and the gap between something being new technology and legacy is becoming shorter all the time. So I think legacy maybe is going to follow us around like a bad smell forever.
No, but you're right. But Telefónica de España, it should be just impossible trying to evolve to the FTTH if we don't switch off the copper. We have been sailing central offices. We have been sailing copper massively. Tons and tons and tons of copper. So switching off really and getting all these assets, trying to help to go to the right velocity for the FTTH deployment. In the IT, who it is particularly so difficult, so we have been switching on more than 300 systems in the past 2 years. A significant part of them because we have been switching off the copper, and we have been switching off all the systems that they were just linked to the copper. So the reality is, if we are not simplifying and reducing the legacy, we cannot support the velocity that we need to do with the new technologies, FTTH or 5G or whatever. And let me give any other point. So if we don't switch off 3G really, and if we don't switch off 4G, so before the 2020 4G, before 2030, and we are just only providing services with 5G plus 6G, so the velocity that we can reach in terms of the 5G standalone massification and 6G evolution, it is going to be reduced. And sometimes it is more a commercial than a technical. So let me give one example. In Brazil, we were just running a copper operation that it was extremely healthy. We were just doing more than 1.5 million ADSL every year. When we took the decision to massively deploy FTTH, and since that moment in time, we were deploying 400,000 home passes per month. So
Wow.
in Brazil, the main priority is how we can adapt the commercial, reducing the ADSL and VDSL commercial customers and going through FTTH customers. So in 3 years, we were just going through 1.5 million to 0, and we were just only commercializing FTTH. Sometimes it is very difficult to make this financially sustainable, but in some moment in time, we need to take decisions like this, because if we don't do it, so we can disappear.
So time's up. We have a question, if that's all right with you, Enrique. Patrick says the Mario Draghi report about the competitive improvement of the EU is encouraging concentration in the telco industry. Is Telefonica's technical approach considered to complement its offer coming from another stakeholder within the industry? I'm slightly confused by the meaning of that.
So that
Do you expect consolidation in the industry, and do you think you're going to be Telefonica, that is part of the consolidation, I think?
um, in Europe, to be honest, there is the Draghi report have been clear on that. So if we are not capable trying to make things different, and the consolidation, it is one of these topics, it is going to be just impossible that we compete. So, and I'm not optimistic about the consolidation in Europe, to be honest. So I can see in Spain what happened with Orange and Mas Mobile had been just bad. So finally, when you see which is the final market with any other operator, so it is true that it is not going against, but there, I do not perceive that the consolidation, it is going to be a reality in Europe in the next 5 years. Maybe I'm wrong, and I have just a pure technical approach, but it is just impossible to compete if we are just managing in Europe up to 300 operators. It is just impossible to compete. Just impossible because the different flavors, they are making us very difficult to operate in the competition. It is very difficult. But so this is not an excuse. So because if you see how we are building our networks, if you see how we are building our customer approach, customer offer, so we have a lot of things to do for improving. So let me say, we need to reduce significantly the CapEx over revenues, maintaining the capabilities in terms of coverage and quality. So we have still a lot of things to do trying to reduce the CapEx effort. And we need to do it in the next 5 years, because if we don't do it, so the 6-year cycle, it will be an additional pressure for the CapEx. And we need to be really trying to go below, and we announced that in 2026, we will be 12% revenues over CapEx. So, and this means that we will be reducing a significant 1.5% of CapEx over revenues, maintaining the effort. And this is part of how we are creating and designing and defining and deploying our network. So we have still a lot of things to do. If the consolidation, it is coming, it will be helping us trying to growth in revenues. And the velocity, it will be helping us trying to offer to our customer even a better approach that we are doing. But I'm not optimistic. So to be honest, so consolidation in Europe need to be done. It is a mandatory. We need to push trying that this happen. But I'm managing my network and my CapEx without this in my mindset. It is coming great. But this is not part of my equation in the horizon of 2026. If finally it is happening, hopefully. So my answer will be, I can go faster than I commit.
Enrique, thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to have you here with us.
As usual, thank you, Annie, for this opportunity. It is an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you very much indeed. I hope I see you soon.